Hello, it's Jenny from America again, here from our hillbilly state. Just wanted to give you some more education on our American way of doing things in the healthcare field. For some reason, I can't imagine why back few decades ago that you were so encouraged to take on our American way of doing things. I think it was bought to you that it would become more efficient. Okay, if you buy that, I think you buy that Dewey Evans is an incredibly wonderful physician. But I think it might have just been, let's just say, let's copy the American way of profit. Now, I'm going to give you a lesson in good old-fashioned American patient dumping. Now, basically what it is, this started happening, and still this, it's called EMTALA law. I'm not going to get into the weeds of that, but one of the things with EMTALA is that it requires hospitals to screen and stabilize any patient, and usually that would be in the ER, no matter what, regardless of insurance status, before transferring them. Now, before that we had that EMTALA, we had something here that was, well, at that time it was legal, now it's illegal, but it was basically for financial reasons. You're going to discharge or transfer the uninsured. You're going to, the ones that are just, let's just face it, not financially viable to that hospital. People that are underinsured, indigent, basically before 1986, and that EMTALA is the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act. And basically, we used to dump patients at other hospitals and, shelters and stuff like that. Now, because of that law, things are changed a little bit. That doesn't mean, to some degree, there's some quiet patient dumping going on in America. But we can't have now outright patient dumping. So I'm wondering, y'all need some EMTALA law. If you're going to copy stuff from us, if you're going to copy the profit stuff, why don't you copy off some of the regulatory stuff from us too? Now, I'm going to give you another explanation here. Just take me a minute so we can get kind of focused here. Let's see, let me move some things back here. And basically, if you remember, I kind of gave you an overview on the American way of hospital systems here. And basically, just think of us as kind of, your major city would have something like around 3 different trusts that are all competing against each other. All right? Now, first of all, they keep each other in check to some degree, but also what keeps us in check here are the state and federal regulatory things. Granted, they get a kickoff of basically shutting the hospital down or fining it. Also, we have a bunch of let's just say lawyers out there that love to make a few extra $1 million suing if, baby dies, etc., etc. So that also keeps us here too. Now, if you see here, I added something in purple called the media. Now, the media here loves to find a good story about, someone that wasn't insured, or the insurance denied them this, or, a patient, they dumped a patient here or did that, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. Because I can guarantee you, I kind of worked with this system kind of like this, and I hate to say it, but sometimes you'd hear about something on the news that, this hospital, one of these hospitals over here that we were in competition did a no-no. Well, there was nothing more fun for us to hear that we would kind of just something giggle. Now, each hospital trust here, we call them a system, it's going to have their media boys too to kind of keep the media in check, and also to make sure that, everyone is basically, we just want to have it out there that we're just the friendly and the happy hospitals and doing all the wonderful stuff and everything. Now, Again, I kind of worked for one of the moneymaker hospitals that, again, kind of was really good to that hospital, made the money so this hospital could stay afloat. Also, we would also, in essence, when it came to, let's just say, maternity and neonatal, occasionally there would be some Loser hospitals here that needed to transfer a baby to that children's hospital that was associated with this one. If we could, we would take that baby on for that, again, to keep the pressure off this hospital. They could transfer a mom to us to keep the pressure off that hospital. But we knew what our limitations were because we wanted to make sure that A, we weren't going to get sued, B, we were going to follow state and regulatory, and C, they weren't going to find out about us in the media that we were doing something wrong. So it helped to keep our nose clean. But also what helped to help us too is that, okay, we're gonna take some of the load off of you, as we should. But you're gonna, if when what hits the fan, we know we can count on you to take that mom or that other baby at another time. Now, historically, in America, and I'm assuming now it's probably in the United Kingdom, pediatrics and maternity does not make money. I don't know why, but it doesn't. And I'm assuming for you too that it could be a money loss thing for you all too. But what we would do is we would have, we still have maternity services, but we use maternity services as a hook, if you get my drift. Usually when you give birth to a baby, you're pretty healthy, and we want you to have a good experience. We want you to basically think of us as the hospital that you will go to for the rest of your life and that you will send your aging parents to and other family members to. So again, it was a hook. Another thing too is that we would want to encourage good obstetricians to come here, that we were going to have good outcomes, and neonatologists too, because we didn't want to pay the sharks. We didn't want to have a big lawsuit. We didn't want to be known in the media as the hospital that mothers died or babies died at. So what we would do is to kind of protect ourselves, because we wanted those good obstetricians, is that good obstetrician is going to want a good high-risk obstetrician that he or she then could send that patient to, or one of his patients to, and say, hey, high-risk obstetrician, I got a problem here. Can you handle it? Yeah, of course we could. We want to keep those obstetricians happy. So of course high-risk obstetricians are going to deliver high-risk babies. But again, we were willing to kind of take that on to, take those high-risk babies on to just keep that thing down here. But also, if you got if you're all of a sudden having an issue with your baby and your baby delivers and it's not the most healthiest outcome, don't worry. We're going to take care of you. We're going to make that experience good for you. We're going to make sure you survive, your baby survives. So you're going to want to talk about us in the community where we're such a great hospital. You're going to want to, and going to come back to us. It's no problem. We're going to take care of all your needs. And then later on down the road when you need that knee replacement, whatever, we're going to do it. So now, again, sometimes where maternity might be a little bit on the profitable thing is if you have a lot of high turnover, a lot of moms giving birth that aren't high risk, kind of the in and outers. Now, this hospital here usually is the hospital that's known, I hate to say this, as the baby factory. It's known, it invests a lot of money in its maternity services, meaning it's going to make sure it's going to have all those nice little delivery rooms and labor rooms and pools and all the stuff that you want, because they're going to want to take a high volume. But I can guarantee you, this hospital too will have a neonatal unit that's a little bit better than ours, because it doesn't have that feeder into that university hospital. It's not going to go to the big one here that it's in competition with, because there's a good chance these hospitals are kind of in the same area, because it's probably in a good area, a good financial area with a lot of people insurance. but it will feed to that competition. If God forbid, if that baby needs to just say heart surgery, it can handle the multiples. It can handle almost everything, but it won't be able to handle the complex surgical needs, and it'll feed into this one versus its competition here. So again, competition to some degree is a good thing and kind of keeps a lot of things in check in here in the United States. I mean, it's not unheard of. You know, you do hear horror stories where insurance company won't cover this one surgery or life-saving this or life-saving that, but I can guarantee you, if it gets to the media and it's on the nightly news, all of a sudden that insurance company is going to cover that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? Now, the problem with you all is that there's no competition here. The media, by all accounts, your lawyers, your regulatory, your media, everyone's is not in competition. It's like you're all one big happy family. So no wonder you've got a Lucy Letby situation going on here. And for the life of me, I'm wondering why the hell is the Countess of Chester taking on all this stuff from the thyroid? There is no reason for them, all these really high-risk moms, diabetes, they had multiples, and these weren't just your healthy twins, people. These were twin-to-twin transfusions. A lot of them were identical twins, which is, again, don't ever think of even a non-identical twin pregnancy as just a variation of a normal pregnancy. No, it's on a whole different planet. And then when you put in identical twins that share a placenta, you're talking a whole different universe. And then you put in multiples that on top of that are sharing an amniotic sac. Well, we're talking the black hole of the universe here. I mean, they're just for no reason that I can think of. Why the hell did the following things happen? I want you to think about this. Think hard about this. Why were so many multiples were at Countess of Chester? So many complex needs that couldn't be met. Who was delivering them? Who accepted them into the unit without adequate staff and input from a neonatologist? Maybe there was a reason there wasn't a neonatologist there. I don't know. I'm asking, this is again, your media. This is stuff that your media should be getting into. But what safety concerns were raised by staff about exceeding capacity and ability? Let's think about this. Allison Timmis sent a email to Tony Chambers. Let's see if I can find that. I found that thing right now. Just give me a minute here, and I'm going to pull this up. Okay. Oh, well, they want me to subscribe. Okay. This was the Allison Timmis thing. Remember, that was used against Lucy as a way to just say, oh, Lucy went and used chaos to help it. A senior doctor, we know that it was Allison Timmis, warned that the neonatal unit where Lucy Letby worked was chaotic, overstretched, and unsafe for patient and staff 2 years before the serial killer was suspended. Dr. Allison Timmis, a pediatrician, emailed Tony Chambers, the hospital's chief executive, in December of 2015, reporting that the staff were in tears because they were being forced to look after more babies than the unit could safely accommodate. In her note, copied into other senior managers, she told them, over the past few weeks, I have seen several medical and nursing colleagues in tears. They get upset as they know that the care that they are providing falls below their high standards. Staff at the Countess of Chester were chronically overworked, and she felt no one was listening. And she's saying, this is not an exceptionally busy week. This is now our norm. Why? Was some good old-fashioned patient dumping going on here? And again, in the United States, we did patient dumping for, let's just face it, financial reasons. I hate to say it, you know. Weren't the most ethically thing, but at least, you know, we've got sharks there. Well, if you're caught doing it, you're going to be in the media. Those regulatory bodies now have a law that they can go after you. And again, you know, we want to make, it is good for hospitals in the United States, shall we say, keep our nose clean. But what is it in it for you guys to keep your nose clean? There is no incentive. Your media, your certainly the CPS and the regulatory bodies and NHS, it's like they're all kind of working together to keep everything under there. There's a story behind this. There's a story of why that unit was overwrought. We do know that hospital was trying to, shall we say, the NHS was to encourage all hospitals to compete against each other. You can't compete against each other when you're in the same system. Again, think about this. The system. We had the big hospital, the beast. I say that in a good way. We had the money maker. We had the smaller ones that could be money makers, but then they served a community need. Some of them had maternity wards, some of them didn't. Again, the malpractice insurance wasn't so cheap when it comes to maternity, because that's where the sharks make their money. But again, there's a reason this one was small, this one was the money maker, this one was the university. There was reasons for all that. And again, we all kept each other afloat. You know, rising waters, lift up ships. But again, we had at least something to, you know, there was our competition. And again, if we would fall, or one of us would fall, I can guarantee you one of these other systems would take you on. Buy that hospital, or figure out a way to, if there's a need in the community and there's money to be made, hell yeah, they're gonna do it. So, and again, I am so sorry. I am so sorry that that you are being forced. The American system was forced on you. Why was that? So, media, Liz Hall, I know you're probably going to be losing your job soon at Daily Mail, because let's face it, you're not doing so well. Judith Morris, you seem to be hiding in some sort of nuclear bunker, avoiding the nuclear fallout. There's a job for you to do. You too can rise above the ashes and do this. Little old Jenny here, granny, 65-year-old retired nurse in a hillbilly state, can figure it out. So can you journalists. So get off your ass. There's a story behind this. There's a reason this unit was in such shambles. There's a reason this unit had so many high-risk babies delivered. That high-risk babies come from high-risk moms. Food for thought. I'll let you all do your own research. Bye-bye.